Hello and welcome to Tabletop 24. Thank you for joining us today for this unboxing of the Oldhim Blitz deck from Flesh and Blood. Now, these Blitz decks are pre-constructed, ready to go decks for the Blitz format for Flesh and Blood. They are a good base to build on, and we're going to see what's actually included in here. If we can get plastic off. And there we have it. Okay, so for Oldhim, he is a Ice Earth hero, one of the new heroes in Tales of Aria set, the latest set for Flesh and Blood. And we've got his box art there. You can see he's quite frosty. So we're going to see what is built in this. I've kept a few spoilers away from this, so that I'm going to find out what some new cards in here. If you've been keeping an eye on the channel, I did draft Oldhim in our very first draft at our release weekend. So I am quite familiar with him, but I would like to see what he is made of. So okie dokie. So you'll have seen on the back there, we've got the elder Oldhim. So he's the adult hero, and we will have the young Oldhim there, which in the foil, which is a nice one. And if I do go into Blitz with Oldhim, that will definitely be the hero I'll be running. So we'll keep those up there. Out at the back, we have two tokens. Seismic Surge. Those that have played Guardian before will be familiar with this, lowering the cost of the next Guardian attack on the next turn. Then we've got Frostbite, so the new elemental token for the set, and it will be slowing people down by making them pay some extra resources. So tokens there, ready to go. Okay, and then starting off, we're going to have equipment. So we've got the 6 pieces of equipment, so a full set. Okay, so start off with, we have got the Ironhide legs, so pumping it up to 2 defense with an extra cost, then destroying it. Goliath gauntlets, so it's going to increase the damage on the next attack. Or should I say, yeah, so the next attack. Then I've got the Helm of Eisen's Peak. So increasing intelligence, so getting that extra card draw, which obviously Oldhim, much like Bravo, is going to need the increased hand size to get some of these attacks off. Now the 3 new pieces for the set are the one-handed Titan's Fist hammer, which is the token hammer, and it's going to be doing a bit of damage there if you've got a cost 3 or higher card. The Rotten Old Buckler, so a brand new type of equipment. So apologies there, you're picking up on the green screen there. So that will be just a 1 block, but it is a sort of an offhand 1 block, so that's quite nice there. And then we have Coat of Frost. So giving your opponent a Frostbite token, really trying to slow them down. So that'd be quite nice in Blitz, especially with Blitz being such a quick format. So I'm going to spread out some of these cards to start with, and then we will look and go through them individually. So with a Blitz deck, you will be having 2 copies, a maximum of 2 copies of each card in the deck. So you've got to be careful of how you're building a Blitz deck, and obviously it's got 40 cards including weapons and armor, which is quite important because obviously with the buckler and one-handed hammer, you're obviously going to be losing a card out of the deck. So right, so we're going to start off with the ice cards. So we've got 2 copies of the blue Winter's Grasp, so just a straight 2 cost, 4 attack, 3 block. It's quite nice. A ice action Winter's Bite, 2 copies of in yellow, so 0 cost, go again, making opponents discard a card unless they pay 2. 2 copies of Polar Blast Yellow, so 1 cost, and again making people pay. If they don't, we're going to get Dominate again, go again, and draw a card. So if you play from Arsenal, so we've got some nice effects there, and you can see already that Oldhim on the ice side, he's played to slow everybody down. So we've got Weave Ice, 1 single copy of, 0 cost, and it's then going to be pumping up the next attack, and if it's fused, Dominate. Obviously with Oldhim there's going to be quite a lot of high cost cards, so getting the high cost out and fusing is going to be quite hard. Amulet of Ice, now these are quite nice. You can play them out at the end of a turn, or sorry, even in the beginning. One of the few items would go again, and then destroy them. They have got a bit of a condition on them, so you must have ice fused in a turn to actually work them, but they're nice to have on board to threaten your opponent at what you're going to be doing. So Frostfang, one of the rares. So Frostfang, it's the red, 2 cost, 5 attack, and if it hits, they discard a card unless they pay. Again, adding to that disruption to your opponent. And being 5, that's quite a nasty hit point there. Then we've got Biting Gale, the other rare, with a nice fusion. And if it was fused, the attacking hero discards cards unless they pay 2. So again, really forcing that high cost on your opponent. And we've got 4 copies of Snow Under, 2 blue and 2 red. We'll start with the blue, with a nice fusion. And if it was fused, it gains, if it hits, hero create Frostbite tokens. So it really, again, putting that pressure on that your opponent's got to defend it. And being blue at 3 cost with a 5 is quite bad. But the red, same cost, coming in for 7. So you really want to be getting that ice fusion off there. And that's probably one of the better cards, I think, for Oldhim. More consistent, you're going to be able to get it off more often. So in here, we've now got the 2 big cards for Oldhim. And we've got blue and red for them. And they're Glacial Footsteps. So we'll start off with the blue again. That is going ice fusion. And if you fuse, you're going to get Dominate. And that's coming in for 8, but it is a 6 cost. So you're going to need to be pitching 2 or have something could be sleeved to get that reduced. Those seismic surges, where possible, are going to be helpful. And then we've got the red. If that wasn't bad enough, that's going to come in for 10. So that's quite a strong attack there, potentially, coming through. We've got that. So that was our ice cards, and there's quite a few of those. Next we will have our Earth cards. Okay, so we'll start off with the 2 copies of Earthlore Surge. Next attack action card. You play this turn, gains +3, go again. Cost 2. So again, if you can get some of that out, it's going to be nice. It's probably more in there for the resource value to give Oldhim those better chances of getting off those Glacial Footsteps. So we've got 2 copies of blue, Break Ground. When you attack with Break Ground, you may put a card from your arsenal at the bottom of your deck. If you do, draw a card. So sort of deck cycling there to give you a bit of a better boost as you go through. So sorry, I put that there. And that's 5 damage. However, that and the Earthlore Surge have only got a 2 defense, so it's quite concerning when potentially Oldhim's going to be going to time. You want to be able to block out a bit as well. And we've got 2 copies of Autumn's Touch, one of the better Earth cards, I believe. It is fairly just standard, 3 cost, 5 damage, 3 defense, 3 pitch value obviously on the blue, so that's quite nice. There, probably more of a utility card to get it down. Mulch, so we have 2 copies of the blue Mulch, which is 4 costs, so quite costly, but it is going to come in for 6 with an Earth fusion. And if it is fused, they hit a hero, put a card from their arsenal at the bottom of their deck. Again, adding that little bit of disruption. I think with this one, I'm not too concerned about getting the fusion unless I'm playing against an archer or potentially maybe a ninja, but we should get that on there. And we've got 2 copies of blue Entangle. So that is 3 cost, 5 damage with an Earth fusion. If it fused and it hits, the first attack of the hero on the next turn gains -2. So again, adding that bit of extra disruption there. Then we've got 4 copies of Strength of Sequoia. That is 2 blue and 2 red. So starting with the 2 blue, you've got Earth Fusion, Go Again, and if it was fused, create a Seismic Surge token. And then at the beginning of your action phase, destroy Strength of Sequoia and gain +1 on the blue, or +3 on your next attack on the red. So that's 2 cost in the defense of 3. That's quite nice. It's setting up for those big turns. Maybe it's you've got 2 cards in your hand and you just want to set up for a following turn. So you can block out 2 or possibly 3 if you've arsenaled it previously. Okay, then we've got a blue Evergreen. So one of the rares for our Earth side, and that is, if it's placed from Arsenal, put it on the bottom of the deck when it's closed. So putting that back in cycling, 3 costs, 5 damage. Now, because of the green screen, I'm going to just pop that up there, and hopefully we get a better view of it, because the artwork's really nice, but it is mainly green, so it's cutting across the screen there. And then our other rare is Turn Timber. So again, a lot of green on there, as you can see. But it's Earth Fusion. If it's fused, it gains +2. So defense reaction that can come in for 8, but it is going to cost 2. And you're going to have to show off an Earth card to do it. So finally in the deck, we have got our Guardian specific cards. And we've got 4 copies of Thump. Now Thump's quite a nice Guardian card. I think a lot of people are going to pick this up for Bravo in the older sets. I think it's going to be quite a nice card for him. And while its attack is greater than its base, it's got Dominate. So it's cost of 4. The blue's coming in for 4 with 3 defense. And the red there has got 6. So it's pumped up. Quite nice. And I think just sort of pushing it over, getting that Dominate in. And obviously, Oldhim's not got a standard Dominate feature himself. And then lastly, we've got our rare for Guardian, which is Embolden. And when it enters the arena, if you control another non-token aura, so not Seismic Surge or Frostbite or anything equivalent, draw a card. And at the beginning of your action phase, destroy Embolden, and the next Guardian attack action card you play this turn gains +5. So that's on the red one, which costs 4. So again, probably a delay and then set up for those bigger turns later on throughout the round. So that's quite nice there. The only problem is that you've got to probably have two auras out on a turn, because nothing worse than that, obviously just getting that out on a token. Now, one of the things I haven't covered, and I'll come back to it, is on Oldhim his deck sort of building requirements. So you may have Earth and Ice cards as well as generics and Guardian cards. So that's been pretty obvious there from the cards that are in the deck. But he does have a once per turn defense reaction. So it's a 3 cost. And if an Earth card is pitched this way, prevent the next 2 damage that will be dealt. So quite importantly, that is any damage that would be dealt to him. And then if it was an Ice card, the attacking hero puts a card from their hand on top of their deck. So sort of forcing that disruption and going, okay, you think you've got that Razor Reflex there. No, you haven't. So pushing that back there. So that's quite nice. I will again point out, I'll bring it up to the camera here, the foiling on this card is really nice. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the foil of the adult. Now, obviously, these Blitz decks are purely a starting point to build out. As you can see, there's only, I think, there was 5 rares in the whole pack. They're all sort of basic common armor and equipment. So there's going to be a little bit there to build out on. And hopefully, you'll see on the channel later that we'll have a unboxing of a box crack of Tales of Aria First Edition, so hopefully we'll pick up some nice cards from there. If you watched our draft coverage, I have picked up the Pulse of Eisenloft and also the Alt Art Channel 8 Frigid, so they'll be going in this Blitz deck quite quickly, I'd imagine, and seeing how we can get from that. So thank you for joining us for this unboxing of the Oldhim Blitz deck. If you haven't done so already, please check out the other videos on our channel, and we'll catch you next time. Take care.